back there.
Right here. Should we go home? I suppose so. Good night to you, Charlie. Don't forget Nightline after your local news. I'm Diane Sawyer, and from all of us at 2020, right here in Times Square, good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Green Bay hosts Seattle Monday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Now on Newsline 9 at 10, Wausau police are stepping up their fight against gangs, but they need your help.
Firefighters warn people in the area about the dangers of burning leaves.
Get ready for a spooky ghost story. Our special assignment report on local haunts starts tonight.
And we'll show you a new ride at Disney World for people with disabilities.
But first tonight, things are stirring up again with the Humane Society of Marathon County.
Good evening, I'm Dave Benton.
And I'm Lisa Burton. Tony will let you know if this sunny weather's going to continue.
And in sports, the Packers get ready for Mike Holmgren's homecoming. The coverage you can count on is now.
You're watching WAOW-TV 9 and WYOW-TV 34.
Two staff members at the Marathon County Humane Society quit after the new board announces a management change at the shelter. Well, the new board took office just last night.
And they met today at a meeting at the shelter to announce the return of former manager Janet Fergat. Newsline 9's Jason Zimmerman is live in the newsroom. Jason, I understand that this return was not without controversy.
That's right, Dave. When the announcement was made this morning, 2 of the shelter's 3 full-time employees quit in protest, including the shelter manager, Heather Drews.
I feel that I was doing a very good job at running the shelter, and they should have reviewed qualifications as to what's best for those animals.
Heather Drews quit her job at the Marathon County Humane Society after learning she would no longer be serving as manager. Drews was appointed manager in June when Janet Fergat was fired for refusing to go along with a controversial euthanasia policy. Now a new board of directors elected Tuesday night has decided to reinstate Fergat as manager.
Janet was the best candidate to be the manager here at the shelter, and right now we have absolutely no reason not to support her in that position.
But Drews says her job wasn't supposed to be temporary, and the board's decision to dismiss her as manager isn't fair.
This was a decision they made so hastefully that there was no discussion about it, and being demoted to us was being fired. Obviously, they didn't feel we could do the job.
Judy Lombard is the only member of the new board who also served in the previous one. She says the new board tried to work with the shelter staff and calls the walkout disappointing.
This board was going to offer a lot of good opportunities to the staff, and we're disappointed that these 2 people wanted to do this without giving it a good, fair chance.
Lombard says the board will begin their search for new staff members right away. Dave and Lisa, now back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Jason. Well, the city of Wausau will hire 2 more detectives to work on a gang and drug task force. Now, they hope it'll help stop some of the gang activity in the area. Both the police and Marathon County Sheriff's Departments are actively involved in trying to keep kids out of gangs, but they say they can't do it alone. They say the whole community needs to help out, especially parents.
Before we start teaching that in the schools, I think the home and the parents have a responsibility to educate their children to that level before we get to them, because I think that's the heart of the problem.
Kids usually join gangs because they feel they want to be like a part of a group, and if teens don't feel like they're a part of their family, they could look to gangs to help fill that need.
The state is cracking down on methamphetamine use. State lawmakers tripled the penalty for making or selling the drug. Under the bill, someone caught with up to 10 grams of meth could spend more than 22 years in prison. The highly addictive drug is often manufactured in homemade labs. It is spreading rapidly in Wisconsin.
Gunmen stormed the parliament in Armenia. In our world tonight, they opened fire while lawmakers were in session. It was caught on tape. The prime minister was killed along with several other leading members. Now, some people are still trapped inside tonight. Also tonight, voters in New Hampshire heard from the 2 Democratic candidates for president, Al Gore and Bill Bradley. Both offered changes to health care and vowed to work with Congress. And Colorado's governor will not appoint a special prosecutor in the John Benet Ramsey murder case, but he did urge her parents to come back to Colorado and talk with police. Well, today was a nice day for October, sunny, fairly warm.
Yeah, it was a gorgeous day, but you know what people say when you get this warm weather, you know what that means.
Yeah, something's going to change fast.
So, Tony, can we look at any changes, or is the warm weather going to stick around for a little bit?
I tell you what, the warm weather is going to stick around for a few more days and plenty of sunshine, too. Let's review today's weather a little bit. We had a high of 59, a low of 30. Way above average on the high, at least. Record low 16, record high was 80. Now, in terms of the current temperature, we've dropped off 10. It's 49 in Wausau with some high cirrus clouds. Winds from the south-southeast at 10. And we do have a weak front approaching the area, and that's causing some of these clouds, but it's a very dry front, so no precipitation is expected tonight despite a few of these clouds. Highs tomorrow will be in the 50s, some 60s in southern Wisconsin. More on the mild weather in a couple of minutes.
All right, thanks very much, Tony. Well, that mild weather means some fairly dry conditions out there. Now, you add that to all the leaves on the ground, and fire is a real danger. The latest case was last night in Marathon County, where a home caught on fire after flames from burning yard waste spread. Firefighters say that there's an important lesson to be learned. The best advice? To avoid any kind of burning until things aren't so dry. The city of Wausau and some other areas ban outdoor burning.
Well, coming up next, get ready to be scared, because when Newsline 9 at 10 continues, we're going to introduce you to a lumberjack ghost named Sven.
I'm Stacey Ingebretson. Tomorrow on Wake Up Wisconsin, if you work at home, how to find disability insurance.
I'm meteorologist Chad France. I have your weather forecast tomorrow at 5:30.
The Flying Mile. Race fans gather at Daytona's Flying Mile. Winning Daytona shows that the 300 is a spirited, full-blooded automobile with impeccable road manners.
Chrysler 300M, born like its ancestors with the most horsepower in its class.
No other car delivers this much motoring excitement. She's a regular firecracker.
Dad made a lot of sacrifices for us over the years, never asked for anything in return. When the doctor told us he had cancer, it was time he started putting himself first. I wanted him to have the best doctors and the most progressive treatments. All Dad ever wanted for us was the chance for a better life. Now he deserves that same chance. I'm not going to let him make any sacrifices anymore.
Today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up 93 points at 10,394 on volume of 898 million shares. The Nasdaq lost 9 points, and markets were mostly mixed as investors await Thursday's gross domestic product report. I'm Marilyn Sauer with U.S. Bancorp Piper Jaffray.
What can you get at Mills Fleet Farm? Quality workwear from Dickies. Pocket t-shirts, twill jeans, long sleeve work shirts, dungarees, and a whole lot more Dickies workwear is on sale. So is a 40,000 BTU Ready heater. Fill it with #1 fuel oil or kerosene and you've got heat for over 11 hours. It's only $139.99. If it's on your list, it's in our store. Mills Fleet Farm.
Want the lowdown on Dodge Durango? Here's where its best-in-class Magnum V8 power lives. It's longer and wider down here for best-in-class room up there. And say hello to best-in-class available towing. Want the best? Get a Durango. Me? I want one of these. Dodge Durango. Different.
Well, Halloween is coming up this weekend, and to get you into the spirit of things, we're starting a special report tonight on local haunts. Our first ghost story takes us to a cabin in Man Lake, which is just north of Minocqua. It's a great little cabin for a weekend getaway, unless you're afraid of ghosts.
It's a cozy little cabin nestled along the banks of Man Lake, a perfect getaway for city folk looking to relax and take in some beautiful scenery. According to the former owner of this cabin, Tom Hollitz, this used to be the site of an old logging camp years ago. Well, now the logging camp is gone, but the spirit of a lumberjack named Sven is apparently still hanging around.
Who knows about this presence? Did he come back for one final fling?
looks like he did. Mr. Hollett says he used to rent out his cabin, and every so often, some of his renters would come back with some really strange stories.
I had a radio personality from Chicago staying here, and one day he comes up to the main house here at cocktail time and says, "Your place is haunted." And I says, "What were you drinking?" He said, "Early this morning, I was up in half of a fog, and there was a man standing over me at the side of the bed. He had a black and white plaid shirt on with suspenders and salty hair, and I got the feeling of the name Sven. And with that, I put my hand through his chest, and the man walked through the door."
And he says that's not the only appearance Sven has made to his renters. An older woman staying with her family also says she saw Sven by her bed late one night. Another strange story Hollett's heard was the time he rented his cabin to a family who had a little boy who was deaf and mute.
He says, "Well, my son you met was in the cabin last night, and he had severe back spasms, and a hot hand," he said, in sign language, "cured his back."
So it seems Sven is a friendly ghost. Or is he?
Jimmy played football, Chicago Catholic League, a real tough guy. And so he stayed in the living room. So we came down these steps right here, and Jimmy was behind me. He closed the door, and I kid you not, as I'm on this step, he flies over my left shoulder, crashes on the ground. He says, "Somebody pushed me."
Hollett says some other strange things that happened in the cabin are the shower would come on mysteriously in the middle of the night, and one time a television set started smoking for apparently no reason.
I'm not going to say there is a Sven or not, but it made for interesting cocktail conversation.
Hollett says the cabin is now owned by someone else, and he says he hasn't heard of any strange happenings at the cabin ever since 2 nuns stayed in it a few years ago. So maybe Sven's fling is over, or maybe not.
Dave's over there biting his nails. Well, in this story, we weren't able to catch Sven on camera, but if you do want to see a real ghost, you won't want to miss our ghost story tomorrow night, because we actually catch a real ghost on camera. And that's coming up tomorrow night at 10. Dave?
All right, Lisa, we look forward to it. Thanks very much. We have breaking news tonight to bring to you. An inmate from the Marathon County Jail escaped around 9 o'clock tonight. Now, police say that he is dangerous. Douglas Blahnik, he's 29 years old, 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes with a beard. He was picked up on a warrant for failure to appear in court. Now, he's believed to be in the downtown Wausau area. He is considered violent and dangerous. Again, he's 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes with a beard. He escaped in the downtown area from the Marathon County Jail around 9 tonight. We'll stay on top of that story for you. Now we take a look at live Super Doppler 9000. A pretty clear night out there tonight. Tony's got your forecast when we come back.
Get it? Got it. Gone at your Ford store. What can you get? 0.9% financing and $1,500 cash back on every 99 Taurus. What's it got? A 5-star safety rating, plus air, automatic, a V6, remote keyless entry, and more, all standard. And all for $2,100 less than Camry. That's Ford Taurus with 0.9 financing and $1,500 cash back. Get it? Got it. But hurry, before the 99s are gone. Visit your local Ford store today.
The Carpets Plus anniversary sale is as easy as 1, 2, 3. One time each year, you get 2 years interest-free when you carpet 3 rooms as low as $5.99. That's 3 rooms for as low as $5.99, interest-free for 2 full years. It's our anniversary, but you get the gift. You get 2 years interest-free. Carpets Plus, since 1971, it's all added up to great-looking floors.
Slumberland Clearance Centers announces factory buyout mattress savings. We bought out the entire production from the United States Bedding Company. Every twin, full, queen, and king-size mattress and foundation, right off their line. This factory buyout means you're going to save even more. Twin set prices start at just $66. Queen sets from $138, and king sets from just $198. Incredible. Right now, get factory buyout savings in the Clearance Center department at Slumberland Furniture. You're going to love the savings.
Newsline 9 weather brought to you by Rosemergy Motors.
And now, your live Super Doppler 9000 forecast with meteorologist Tony Schumacher.
It's been the 5th sunny day in a row, and we're not seeing any precipitation, of course, tonight. A couple of clouds moving through, but no rainfall on live Super Doppler 9000. Across the rest of the nation, let's diagnose the weather pattern a little closer because there are some changes down the road, and we'll get to that in a second. First of all, we've been protected by high pressure today, giving us the quiet weather. Nice weather all up and through the eastern part of the country here. As you get further west, it was actually warmer today, highs in the 70s in southwest Minnesota, just ahead of this front. That'll come through by tomorrow morning and switch our winds to the north, but not do too much, really. Our next concern is this big storm in the Pacific Northwest. It's creating high winds and heavy rain out there. Some of that energy will come our way and give us a pretty good chance of rain showers Friday night and Saturday. So that'll be the next major impact on our weather. In terms of today's weather, not bad at all. It started off rather cool, lows around 28 in Three Lakes, 26 Lake Tomahawk, even a 19 reported near Tomahawk. 28 in Wapaka, but then the highs bounce back into the 50s, almost 60 degrees in Wapaka and Weston. Well, current readings are holding up pretty nicely tonight. 45 in Antigo, 48 in Eagle River, 52 in Phillips, 53 in Wisconsin Rapids, 52 in Milwaukee, even some upper 50s out in the western part of the state. 48 in Wausau, dew point 36, humidity 64%, southeast winds at 9, and thanks to the southerly winds tonight along with some of that high clouds, we're not going to have a big drop off in the temperatures tonight, probably in the upper 30s for lows. This cold front will be moving out of the state tomorrow morning, high pressure replacing it, still some nice weather with that north wind, maybe making it a few degrees cooler than today. Then by Friday, here we go again, milder weather building back ahead of that stronger front coming out of the Pacific Northwest, and that could generate some showers again Friday night and Saturday. Lows tomorrow morning around 35 in Phillips, 38 in Stevens Point, 39 in Friendship, and highs should be in the middle 50s. 38 for the Wausau area tonight, some high clouds. South winds turning to the northwest around 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow mostly sunny, slightly cooler, high of 56. North or northwest winds at 8 to 14 miles per hour. And as you check ahead here, notice how the weather is going to stay pretty nice going into Friday, high of 60. On Saturday, some showers, 59 degrees. Still pretty nice on Halloween, 57. Then it's going to take a bigger cool off Tuesday and Wednesday with highs in the 40s. That's your mild forecast. Let's go back to the news desk.
Looks good to me. Thanks, Tony. Coming up in sports, we head to Marshfield for an amazing athlete of the week. Plus, we've got good news for taxpayers in the new state budget.
And then we'll take you for a spin on a new ride at Disney World, the coverage you can count on TV 9 and 34.
Your live Super Doppler 9000 Storm Team forecast can be found every day in the Wausau Daily Herald.
In Wausau, call Marilyn Sauer at the investment firm of U.S. Bancorp Piper Jaffray, looking toward the future since 1895.
I've been in tough spots before, and I've always gotten through them okay. Raised my family all right, gave them a life I didn't have. So when the doctor told me I had cancer, I thought, okay then, I'll get through this too. My family insisted I go where I can get the best doctors and the newest treatments. Nice thing is, that's all right here. And right here is where I want to be for a good long time.
It's that time of the year for goblins, witches, and scary creatures. What about treats for the big kids? Well, Charter Communications has a special Halloween treat for the big kids. New customers can sign up for our basic showcase package and receive a free Green Bay Packers hat and free installation. Call Charter at 1-800-416-6429 to treat yourself to quality cable programming.
In Wausau, call Shirley Mortensen at the investment firm of U.S. Bancorp Piper Jaffray, looking toward the future since 1895.
Well, money is making news tonight in terms of the state budget and money you might get back in your pocket. Lawmakers are proposing a hike in the state minimum wage, up to $6.55 an hour. That would be a $1.40 increase, but it's not a done deal. The bill faces an uncertain future in the Assembly. Wisconsin plans to spend $41 billion over the next 2 years. Today, Governor Tommy Thompson signed the new state budget during a ceremony in Madison. Now, in the budget, a $350 tax break for the average taxpayer, you could also possibly get some money back from the money we spend on sales taxes. And for schools, a later start date, September 1st, unless districts vote down that idea. And tuition at UW campuses will be frozen for 1 year, and there's money set aside for smaller classes. The new state budget will also give people with disabilities and their families a big boost. It sets aside $275,000 to help care for people with disabilities. The money can be used for respite care, which gives families a break from caring for a loved one. United Cerebral Palsy of North Central Wisconsin helps families find those services. UCP expects to see about $50,000 from the new state budget. Well, the Marshfield Clinic is looking for women to participate in a breast cancer study. Coming up in Living Well tonight, we'll meet a local woman involved in the study and let you know how she got involved.
And we'll take you to a vigil to remember victims of domestic violence. Newsline 9 at 10 continues.
It raises expectations about what a minivan can be, with features like a powerful V6 engine, dual sliding doors, 8-way power driver's seat, dual zone temperature control, and an optional 10-speaker CD stereo system. Then, we added one more thing, values up to $2,000 that make the Chrysler Town & Country unexpectedly affordable.
Fire up your imagination with a majestic fireplace, cast iron face, and mantle surround from County Concrete's Homescape Studio. Majestic cast iron fireplaces add elegance and performance. County Concrete's Homescape Studio. Imagine the possibilities.
During Home Furniture's Fall Festival of Savings, find all the right furniture at the right prices. A walk through our new fall selections will excite your own room planning ideas. See the latest furniture styles, beautiful fabrics, and quality woods. Come in and find special Fall Festival savings throughout the store and save more with 12 months interest-free financing during our Fall Festival of Savings at Home Furniture.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love Home Furniture.
Even with its impressive power, remarkable handling, and legendary capability, Jeep Grand Cherokee can still be leased for just $359 a month. Maybe that's why everyone's going out of their way to get a look at it. The $359 a month Grand Cherokee lease. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
The Marshfield Clinic is currently involved in a study that could potentially save millions of lives. It's called the STAR study. STAR stands for the study of tamoxifen and raloxifene, two drugs being tested to see if they can reduce the chance of a woman getting breast cancer. 69-year-old Leon Franz is one of 22,000 women taking part in the program nationwide.
It has the possible effect of improving my health. But beyond that, I think we all have benefited so much from research that's gone on before and from the participation that people made in that research before all the antibiotics.
Tamoxifen was tested in the first phase of this study and has proven to be successful, but there were some side effects, including an increased risk of getting uterine cancer. Now researchers are testing raloxifene, which has less side effects, to see if it works just as good as the tamoxifen.
If we can prevent a disease easily without a whole lot of side effects, that's something that's very worthwhile doing.
And the Marshfield Clinic is still looking for women to participate in this national study, and you can call the clinic for more information on it. By the way, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Dave?
As part of Domestic Abuse Awareness Month, the Wausau women's community held a vigil tonight to remember women and children who have been victims of violence. The vigil centered around this display, which they called an empty place at the table. The display featured the names of local women who were killed at the hands of their domestic partner. Now, if you're a victim or know of someone who is, you can get help by calling 1-888-665-1234. An update now on our breaking story. An escapee from the Marathon County Jail is loose tonight in the downtown Wausau area. 29 years old, 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes with a beard. Again, police say he's dangerous and he may be in the downtown Wausau area. Sports is next.
Wherever there's snow,
beat of a different drummer. Dodge Intrepid. Well-equipped 19950.
See your Arctic Cat dealer now and check out the exciting new machines for the next millennium. Plus, take advantage of some of the best deals of the season.
Buy now and get Cat Cash or choose financing as low as 9.95%.
Now it's your turn to become a member of the Newsline 9 Newswatchers team. When you see news happening, call 842-9293 or star 999 on your Cellular One phone.
We're proud to be able to offer state-of-the-art treatments as we are heavily involved in research.
Cancer takes a team approach, including surgeons, oncologists, radiotherapists. We have over 35 cancer specialists.
We are world experts in the treatment of gynecologic and breast cancers.
The media blitz of Mike Holmgren's return to Lambeau Field heated up today. The Green Bay Packers returned to practice, and one question kept popping up, and that was about the return of Mike Holmgren. And one player who knows Holmgren better than anyone is Packer quarterback Brett Favre. Favre says the Packers have to treat the Monday night game like any other. Even though it is Wednesday, he's already tired of talking about the return of his old coach, Mike Holmgren.
Happy to see him, you know. We still got to win this football game. I could care less who's coming back. So hopefully everyone watches this tonight and they won't ask anymore. I can't wait to see Mike and love him to death, but I still want to beat him.
Earlier this year, the Green Bay Packers made Tyrone Williams the highest paid defensive back on the team, but that now has changed. Safety Leroy Butler has signed a new contract extension that will raise Butler's yearly salary to $4.6 million. That will make Butler the highest paid safety in the NFL. The Packers had promised Butler earlier in the year they would redo his contract after Tyrone Williams signed his new contract, and Butler's new deal was completed on October 19th. The New York Yankees are doing their best to make quick work of the Atlanta Braves in this year's World Series. They lead the best of 7 series, 3-0. Everything going the Yankees' way, and what better way for them to end the series with Roger Clemens on the mound. Even though Clemens has won 5 Cy Young Awards, he's never won a World Championship. Let's head to the scoreboard, where we can tell you the Yankees defeat Atlanta 4-1, and they win the series 4-0. For this week's Athlete of the Week, we head to Marshfield, where swimmer Mariah Elf has set 5 school records in the past 2 weeks. But there's much more to Elf than just setting records. She's been doing this during the roughest time of her life.
Take your mark.
Mariah Elf is used to great starts in the swimming pool, but it's how she finishes a race which makes Elf stand out. Mariah has had her name on the Tigers record board the past 3 years. As a freshman, Elf began to set the records. Now a junior, she continues to break many of her own records.
Mariah is an exceptional swimmer. She's very dedicated and works hard during practice. She's a positive influence on all the other swimmers. They look to her for leadership, and she does a great job dealing with them on a personal level as well.
Setting 5 school records in a 2-week span is an amazing achievement, but for Mariah, she has done this at maybe the worst possible time of her life. 3 weeks ago, her father was shot and killed in a hunting accident, but thanks to the support of her mom and teammates and her love of swimming, Mariah has been able to get through this.
I've had a lot of support from family. They've been here. My friends have all been really good